Okay, so there is a question on the Khan Academy that might ask you when you approach a horizontal asymptote at zero, whether you approach it from above zero or below zero. So for example, if I had a horizontal asymptote at zero, that would be the x-axis, okay? And what it might say is, as x approaches infinity, y approaches zero, which is true here. But what they want to know is, does the graph come from above zero and approach zero? Or does it come from below zero and approach zero? Okay. And now they might do the same thing. And so what they'll say is from, and that'll be above or below. And then they might do the same thing as x goes to negative infinity. We know y is going to zero, but then they might want to know if it's from above or below the x-axis. So that's their question. So first off, you should already know that the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator. So we have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Okay? So we know that as x approaches infinity, y approaches 0. And as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches 0. Now the question is, when I'm going to infinity, am I coming from above or below? Okay, so here's the deal. It's super easy. Here's what you do. Take the leading term up top, simplify it with the leading term in the denominator, and again, this 3 doesn't matter. It matters that it's positive. So you can put that this is 3 over x to the 4th, that's fine. But the goal is just to know that it's a positive over x to the 4th. And here's what you do. If you plug in large positive numbers, and you take them to the 4th power, it doesn't matter what the number is. We just know that a positive over a positive to the 4th is a number over a positive number. So this means that it approaches 0 from above, from the positive side. You do the same thing. So this was for positive infinity. This was as x approaches positive infinity. Y approaches 0 from above. And now we'll do the same thing for negative infinity. As x approaches negative infinity, y is going to approach 0, but is it from above or below? So if you take 3 over x to the 4th and you plug in a negative number, so it would be 3 over a negative to an even power. We know that that's still positive. So that means that as x goes to negative infinity, that means the graph is approaching 0, the horizontal asymptote, from above again. Now, I don't exactly know what this graph looks like, and I'm not asking you to know that either. But in essence, this is what we have. We have it basically on this side approaching 0 from above, and on this side approaching 0 from above. That's all you're trying to figure out. So let me do another example. I'll do one that has an odd exponent in the end. So if you turn your paper over, you have f of x is equal to 5x cubed minus 11x squared. And actually all this stuff that's on the end of this doesn't matter at all. It's just there to take up space, basically. But I'm committed to writing it, so hold on. Okay, so you can see that the degree of the numerator is 3 and the degree of the denominator is 4. So you know we have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So we can say as x approaches infinity, y approaches 0. Wow, that did not go as planned. Hold on. There we go. Y approaches 0. But does it approach it from above 0 or below? That's what we're asking. And then as x approaches negative infinity, y goes to 0. Worst infinity sign ever. And we want to know if it comes from above or it comes from below. Okay, so here's what we do. Leading coefficient up top, leading term, sorry, is 5x cubed. Leading term in the denominator is negative 10x to the 4th. If we simplify that, we get 1/2, but it's negative. So you can write it as negative 1 over 2x, right? Because 3 minus 4 puts an x in the bottom. All right, so if we plug in a large positive number, so watch, -1 over 2 times a positive gives me a negative up top, a positive on the bottom, so we get a negative. That means that as x approaches infinity, the graph approaches the horizontal asymptote at 0 from below 0. So like that, basically. Okay? As x approaches negative infinity, we're going to do the same thing. We're just reusing this right here. So -1 over 2 times negative infinity. We get a negative over, I'm not even going to put -1 because I don't want to confuse you. Just a negative, basically. It doesn't matter that it's 1. So we get a negative over 2 times negative is a negative. So that's a positive. That means that as x approaches positive infinity, we're approaching 0, but this time we're approaching from above. So this side might look something like that. That's Dixie. Welcome to life with a beagle. It's intense.